Hello guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome back to the channel. Happy June. It is officially Pride Month. June is one of my favorite months of the year, and Pride Month is certainly one of my favorite seasons. It's a colorful season, and as such, I drew up a few colorful Pride Month themed product designs. I won't make this intro too long, so let's get started. Alright, so before we get into this batch of colorful Pride Month designs, it's best to know that I've made a few sets of Pride Month designs before as well. It was last year when I made a bunch of Pride Cats, Pride Penguins, and even some Pride Phoenix designs too. And this year's designs are kind of an extension of those sets of designs. By the way, if you like any of the artworks in this video, you can get them as prints, stickers, shirts, and a bunch of other products over on my Redbubble and TeePublic shops. You can check the links in the description below if you are interested in getting one for yourself. The main idea for this batch of designs is to have the designs in sort of a parade formation, where they are carrying pride flags. So it's a pride parade basically. And for this first set, we have the Pride Cats from last year. It was unfortunate last year when my hard drive crashed and I was not able to back up my files onto a cloud storage service that I lost all the original files for the Pride Cat designs. So I won't really be able to add more to that series for a while. Although I might be able to recover them when I end up buying a recovery software, but I can't be too sure about that. A girl can still hope though. I know better now though, and since that unfortunate event, I have been backing up all of my files by sending them to myself over on Telegram. I swear, Telegram better not die in the future because that's where all of my files are. But anyways, yeah. This first set features the Pride Cats I made last year and their respective flags. I did it where the leader of each Pride parade for the designs carries the rainbow Pride flag, while the others following are of a smaller scale, carrying more specific Pride flags. So here it looks like the other Pride Cats are kittens, which I think is adorable. I had to change the size of the canvas a few times during the sketching phase for this though, since I was kind of worried the designs might not fit onto the canvas properly, which wasn't really an issue with the next two sets. Since these Pride Cats are a bit longer, literally, you know, each individual cat drawn in a walking pose takes up more horizontal space than the next designs I drew up. And by the way, I basically just copy-pasted the pose from the first cat, but scaled it down to be smaller for the kittens. Some things to note for these Pride Cats, some design elements I suppose, are the collars the cats are wearing matching with the colors of the pride flags they are carrying, and the actual main base colors of the cats matching somewhat with the flags as well. This was something I really thought long and hard about back when I was first thinking up the designs for these Pride Cats, and what breed of cat would represent each flag. I remember just really using all of my brain cells to figure out which cat breed would hold which flag. I wanted the color palettes to match somewhat, and overall I think I did manage to accomplish that. Except maybe for the tortoiseshell cat, which carries the non-binary flag. The cat's color palette may not match the flag exactly, but I still think it does well to complement the colors that are already available on the flag. So yeah. This first set definitely took a bit more time than the next sets though, since each Pride Cat has a different color, pattern, and things like that along with the different flags. But for the next two sets, the only thing that changes is basically the flags, which made everything a bit quicker. So let's head on to the next set. Alright, here we're on to the Pride Penguins. I also thought this is very cute since we have the adult penguin leading and the baby chicks following after. And the formation just kind of looks like a bunch of little scouts following their leader. With the added look of their neckerchiefs, it just ties up that whole scouting vibe of this piece, which I really like. But anyways, since penguins are pretty much just black and white for the most part, obviously apart from their beaks, and for the baby chicks they're mostly grey, I wanted to add those neckerchiefs just to add a bit more pop of color to these designs. It's Pride Month after all, and it's a colorful time of the year, so I think that works out pretty well for its purpose. It's the same concept as the collars for the Pride cats, which match the colors of the Pride flag they are carrying. It just adds a little bit more interest for the design itself. I did try and think maybe I should draw them carrying the flags like in the Pride Penguin designs I made last year. But if only for the design and the layout of this, I thought it would be a lot easier to just draw them holding these flags in this way, instead of just holding the flag cloth like in the previous Pride Penguin set. I also made it so that the leader penguin, you know, the adult, is looking back at the chicks to see if they're still following along. Which I think is great. It's like an actual mini scene of some sort, where things are actually happening and not just some static product design. It's like there's still a hint of character interactions to make up for the lack of colorful patterns and designs. Since again, penguins are mainly just black and white. Then again, I do think the contrast of the monochromatic blacks, whites, and grays does help all the other brighter colors to stand out more. If anything, it makes it a bit clearer to read and for the viewer's eyes to be directed onto the more colorful parts of the image. And also because I tried to make the background colors a bit lighter and more pastel, I suppose. I did try giving this one in particular a blue background, but I figured I'd just use the same background color for all of these sets, you know, just make it a bit more cohesive. And also, again, about the colors, you might notice me adjusting or changing the colors of the Pride flags a little bit. And that's because pretty much one of the only things that bothers me a bit with Pride flags is how bright the majority of the colors on the flags are. I mean, I get it, that's the point, but when it comes to using them for artworks, especially in my style, the very bright colors are just harder to work with for me. So I ended up lightening them up a bit to fit my color style. I swear, I'd love to see more pastel colored Pride flags like the transgender flag. And speaking of flags, I wanted to include more than just the same 9 Pride flags I included last year, but I wasn't actually able to do that this year. I'll definitely try and add it onto my bucket list to add more flags to my Pride Month designs though. But yeah, that's pretty much this set done. Now let's move on to the next and last. Okay, here's the last Pride Parade product design set for this video. And this one basically follows the same format and premise as the Pride Penguins designs, except they're ducks. Now that I think about it, I could have done a Pride Parade of the Phoenix designs I made last year as well, but I still think it's good that I went with ducks this time around. Definitely a lot simpler and quicker to finish. A funny thing that happened with this set of designs though is that, literally while I was scripting this very video earlier this morning, specifically when I was scripting the part for the Pride Penguins, I just realized after looking at the chicks, the ducklings, that ducklings are yellow. Not white, they are yellow. I do not know why I realized that so late and after all these product designs have already been uploaded to the shops, but that was the only time I realized that I had made all the ducklings in the designs white. Usually, ducklings are yellow. I had to stop scripting and go back to change the color of the ducklings, so that's what I did. I changed the colors of the ducklings off camera to make sure they are yellow instead of white, but I did keep the original designs with the white ducklings up in the shops. So in case you'd want to get a sticker or a print or anything of the designs with the white ducklings, you can still feel free to do so over in my shops. They are still there. I did not remove them. But yeah, this was a bit of a surprise for me since I love birds and these are ducks, so I don't know how the proper colors of the ducklings just got away from me. I didn't even notice it while I was drawing the actual designs. Oh well, I've edited them and they're yellow now, so it's all good. Anyway, these Pride Parade sets follow the same format as the Pride Penguins, in a sense where they are also holding flags, the adult leading the parade and the little ones following behind, as well as the neckerchiefs, again just to add a bit more color. I was originally planning on also having a set of just Pride Duck designs like last year's Pride Cats designs, with each duck holding a different Pride flag. But I had found that I was pretty tired after making this particular set of designs, from balancing life stuff and art stuff, to actually create another full set of that. So I'm putting the Pride Duck set off for another day. So yeah, these are this year's Pride Month themed product designs. I realized that the Pride Month collection in my shops is pretty much the one with the most designs, and the reason for that is because June is usually the time where there would be no school, like vacation time, and with me having more time to draw and it happening to be Pride Month, that's usually what I end up drawing. Pride Month artworks. Again, if you like any of the designs you see here and would like to get some for yourself, the links to my shops and the Pride Month collections will be in the description below. Or if you want to check out some of the other product designs I've made, I have a playlist right here on the channel where you can watch exactly that. And also a recent playlist that I added that has all of my Pride Month works. So yeah, I don't say this a lot, but if you like my art and videos, please do feel free to leave a like, maybe drop a comment, and consider subscribing to the channel. That would really help me out a lot. But yeah, June has been quite hectic for me already, the first week specifically. And I'm recording this in advance, so by the time this is uploaded, it should be around the second week of June. But with everything that's happened, all the life stuff and college stuff going on, I can tell June is probably gonna be quite a wild ride for me. But yeah, with everything said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and again, happy Pride Month. May you have a very colorful June ahead. And with that, I'll see you in the next one.